Hello fellow researchers and welcome to the second video in this SPSS video series known as SPSS is Fun. My name is Jason and I am here to help you learn SPSS. And with this video I hope to show you how you should modify the program to enhance the way it looks and operates even before you enter any data. So I've opened SPSS, and as you can see here, there is no data, and that's fine because I'm not actually going to do any sort of analyses, but I want to guide you over to the top left edit button here, and I want you to choose the options tab, and we're going to select a few options that are going to make our lives easier in the future, or at least more convenient. So SPS is great because it allows you to modify the way it looks and feels, and so we're going to start off in the General tab here. And in the General tab here, I want you to make sure that you have the Display Labels option selected. This is under the Variable Lists section. And I want you to make sure you have the File option selected. Now the File option means that basically the ordering of your variables is going to be in the same order as the data file. So the data file that you have is probably either going to be in the same order as your code book or your survey questionnaire. So that's going to make things a lot easier in the long run. Now you can also change this at any point, but for now I suggest you keep it selected on file. Over here on the output section, I want to make sure you select the no scientific notation for small numbers in tables option. It gets kind of annoying to see exponents and all these other types of scientific notation values in the tables in particular. So go ahead and select this option here. Now you can see my other options selected. Most of these are default and these will serve you quite well. So we're on the General tab now, and I want you to go over to the Data tab. Okay, and on the Data tab, I just want you to look at this section right here, the decimal places section. Now, if you don't have any decimal places in your values, then make sure this is at 0. If you have decimal places, then go ahead and choose this, but for now, you're going to probably want to keep this at 0. Okay, and you can again change this at a later point in time. Let's go over to our Output tab over here. And in our Output tab, just make sure that you have these 3 first options all set at labels. Okay, and then for the final one here, I like to choose values and labels. Okay, and this is important. Oh, it's helpful at least when you're looking at your tables to see what values refer to what label, and I'll go over what that means later on. But basically, when you have a value representing a particular category, okay, it's sometimes helpful to see what that category is, and that's what the label will tell you. Now, you also want to make sure that you have pivot tables and charts selected, especially if you're going to be doing any sort of non-parametric tests. Maybe you're going to do chi-square. You're going to want to have pivot tables and charts selected. Now, finally, let's go over to our pivot tables tab. Okay, and this is pretty cool because here we can actually change the way that our output tables will look. So as I go down the list here, you can see on the right side there we have different sort of general formats, and some of them change the color, some of them change the font, some of them change the border. Ultimately, it doesn't affect your analyses in any way, but it just changes the way that you're going to present it or the way that it's going to look. Now, I like to choose compact boxed, and I know a lot of people like compact boxed because it's the smallest of all of them, and so it just makes things easier to look at when you have a large output file. It's also helpful for printing, save paper, right? Save the trees. Other than that, this is the last thing here that's important, really. Copying wide tables to the clipboard in rich text format. So those of you that have used SPSS in the past, you know that sometimes you'll have tables or charts that are wider than the actual page. So if you're going to be copying tables and charts into a Word file, you're going to want to make sure that the tables and charts are going to be sort of auto-fitted to that Word file. It's very annoying when you have to then try and manually start changing the width and so on and so forth. So there's a few options here. Okay, and you can always change these again in the future if you don't like it, but I suggest you just choose shrink width to fit. Now, finally, we're going to click on apply, and it's just going to change those settings for us there. And then I'm going to hit OK. Now you can see here I'm on the data view, and now I'm on the variable view, and there's still no data here. Okay, so you can't really tell what we've done, but basically I'm going to be going over each of those options we selected in another video. And in the next video that I'm going to be making, I'm going to be going over what each of these variable characteristics mean and how you can change them to suit your needs. So for now, I just want to thank you for watching, and I want you to stay tuned for that next video coming up very soon in this video series titled SPSS is Fun. Cheers.